I'm Megan Mucci with James Buchanan, and this is Rugby Street. The Canadian Sevens team is having quite the storybook season.
After impressive wins in Wellington, the Canadian team continued to turn heads in Hong Kong, upsetting world champion Wales to claim the bowl final.
Canada beat Portugal, China, and Tonga twice to get into just their 6th bowl final in program history against Wales, the 2009 Sevens world champions. But the world champs looked anything but, as the first half was all Canada. It was already 7-0 for the Canucks when an errant pass turned into a try for Chauncey O'Toole and his hard-working shorts. Phil Mack would convert all 5 of Canada's tries. Canada speed begged Wales with points as sweeper Kieran Hearn took the ball at pace through some sloppy turnstile defense, riding his 90-inch legs 50 meters to stroll across the line. Mistakes and costly penalties at the breakdown were the story of the day for the world champs, who didn't have an answer for Canada's counter-rucking. Just before the halftime hooter, Captain Mack would finish off a series of offloads for his 51st career try, giving him over 530 points in 4 years on the circuit. After being lit up by their coach during half, Wales responded with 3 tries to the delight of the infamous Sevens crowd, the first coming shortly after kickoff, but the best was this great solo effort by Little Lee Reese. Reese outpaced 2 Canadian players and regathered his own chip, eventually touching it down directly under the post. Billy Mack has long been a cornerstone of the Canadian program, and he shows why with this next play. He may be rugby's Muggsy Bogues, but you can't match the size of this guy's heart. Mack hands off to 17-year-old Connor Traynor for his 2nd try of the match. Wales would score on the last play of the game, but it was too little, too late. Canada claimed the hardware, outscoring Wales 35-19. Samoa beat New Zealand in the Cup final to win the Hong Kong Sevens, taking a 3-point overall lead in the World Series. The last 2 stops on the circuit are London and Edinburgh at the end of May.
The Hong Kong experience for the Canadian national sevens team was definitely one to remember and one to savor. We went 5-1, ending up winning the bowl competition. And you know, for the guys that were there and the management and Rugby Canada, I think we were ecstatic with what we achieved.
Yeah, winning the bowl in Hong Kong, you know, is always an amazing experience. It's a tough tournament. Winning anything there is always difficult. I think the boys are just, you know, getting ready for the England-Scotland leg here, and you know, eyes forward.
The 3rd-ranked UVic Vikes were visiting a very hungry Vloc side, trying to make a late push for the 6th and final playoff spot. The sun was shining, and both teams were gearing up for what was sure to be an entertaining clash. The first half was a battle of attrition and plenty of set play that saw limited opportunity for both sides. Only Canadian international David Spicer broke the deadlock with a nice solo try that put the Vikes up 7-0 going into the half. Second half, a different story, with the physicality amped up as both teams got hungry for a victory. The Vikes showcasing some strong ball retention and some smart play all over the field. Vloc finally broke the deadlock after a long rumble by Dustin McPherson, showcasing his solid support play. The powerful Kiwi number 8 showing his speed and his nose for the try line, capping off this excellent solo try. And then a gritty team try, set up by Eric Lopatinski, and a great run by Rob Down. Saw Dean Budd go over in his classic finishing style, a 5-meter stretch to the line that gave Velox the cushion they thought they needed. With 2 minutes left, UVic fullback Keaton Stiles brought the Vikes within a try. And as time expired, a well-worked team try saw Liam Murray draw the scores even. And a David Spicer conversion as time wore out saw the Vikes prevail 21-19. With a strong come-from-behind win, the Vikes remain in 3rd place in the CDI. Outstanding performance today by the UVic Vikes, credited to David Spicer with 11 points, including the game winner. And for the Velox Valhallians, Dean Budd and his 2 strong tries. And for the Valhallians, it's back to the drawing board, as this is their 4th loss this season by 4 or fewer points. They have their work cut out for them, as the only way to sneak into that 6th and final playoff spot is to win out the remainder of the season.
Welcome to Rugby Street. I'm Megan Mutry here with Dean Budd. Quite an adjustment to go from Eden Park to quaint little Velox, but I have to say you've got quite a head on your shoulders. How do you stay so grounded?
Well, look at it. It's beautiful out there. The sand pits really makes me feel like home. So it's a good change. I like changing my life.
Ex-Super 14 player, possible Auckland player?
No, it's not entirely true. It's not a Super 14 contract. I was contracted to Auckland. So I had to terminate that contract if I wanted to get away from the Auckland scene. So,
what's the one single biggest difference between the club level in Canada versus the club level in New Zealand that you've played?
There's a slight difference. I think New Zealand club rugby's a lot more well-rounded. There's a lot of quality guys spread across the 15, but here you still get the classy players, but they're a lot more spread throughout the 15. You maybe get 2 or 3 on a team, as opposed to 9 or 10 in club rugby back home. So.
I thought David Spicer played quite well. He made a really good shoestring tackle as well as the game-winning conversion. Want to talk about his play a little bit?
Yeah, he's been playing very well. I think one thing he really does is he can kick with both feet, you know, and some of those kicks he's making are 50, 60 meters, so it keeps the teams on edge, and if teams play him up too much, he's got the ability to run or pass, so he's a pretty complete player. Here
with David Spicer, captain of the University of Victoria Vikes, and who do you think you'll face in the playoffs?
Honestly, we're not really worrying about that yet. We still got 3 or 4 games left. Like, every team in this league's awesome, so we just got to go one game at a time, and it doesn't really matter who we play because every team's good in this league, and you're going to have to play a good team, whether it's in the quarters or the semis. So we're just going to try and play every game, win every game. We're still kind of up for a bye if we upset James Bay, so that's what we're going to be gunning for and just see how everything pans out. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest. Yeah, well, thanks a lot. I'm Megan Mutry with Rugby Street. That was David Spicer.
A massive showdown on tap at Velox Rugby Club as the Valkyries played host to the top-ranked Marilomas. Velox came out of the gate swinging, riding a strong lineup featuring 4 Canadian internationals. A terrific solo kick and chase by Jess Dovain saw Velox go up 8-0. But the Marilomas responded with 2 first-half tallies from Sierra Mullen and Maggie Ritchie to keep it a tight 14-8 going into halftime. In the second half, the Marilomas were not to be outdone, as a superb off-the-bench effort from Canadian national team hooker Leslie McKenzie put the Lomas in a comfortable lead. Relentless Marilomas attack continued, and only a late push by the Valkyries saw Barbara Mervin score a fantastic individual try, showing the power and speed that makes her one of the most fearsome back rowers in the country. A last-ditch effort by Velox center Sarah Levson almost gave VV the dying go-ahead, but a costly turnover would seal it. The late push by the Valkyries was not enough, as Sydney Cheng scored with minutes remaining, and the Marilomas were able to run out the clock. At 4-0, the Lomas sit at the top of the women's table, while the Valkyries in their lone win sit shell-shocked 1 spot out of the cellar.
Next week, we speak with Phil Mack, captain of the Sevens team, about their impressive run this year on the Sevens circuit, and more on the Canadian women ahead of their 2010 World Cup.
And of course, all the action, news, and highlights from the British Columbia Premiership. I'm James Buchanan for Megan Moutry. See you next week on the street.